You're the owner of a small business, which means you're also the tech guy, and HR, and personal assistant, and head honcho, and intern. You could use another pair of hands, like the experts you'll find at Verizon Small Business Days, April 21st through 27th. Get a free tech check, special deals, and more. Call 1-800-483-4428 or visit verizon.com/smallbusiness to book your appointment. Verizon Business.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Hi, this is Tom Cock. It was 10 years ago this week I lost my mother. Now, she didn't die young. It wasn't anything tragic. She had a lengthy and great life, passing away at age 85. I still miss her. And part of looking back is thinking about the lessons I can learn from my mom. Now, my mom famously told me once, no one will ever say your mother was like a saint, which was a famous quote Richard Nixon said about his mother. Well, Mom, here I am, and I'm going to publicly say it. My mother was like a saint. In what ways? Well, there were some money lessons to be learned from my mom. Now, my mom survived the Depression. Not easy. She lived through, again, tough financial times, not for her, but for the nation in 2008, which caused her a lot of worry. And she also had to live a middle-class life that wasn't always simple, decisions made by others. We're not going to get into all the personal stuff, but I'll tell you, it didn't always work out the way my mom wanted it to. Let's just leave it at that. So let's talk about the things, though, that if really we could take away from her life that I think would be valuable. Well, now I mentioned the Depression. And, of course, as you know, if you are someone who lived through the Depression or know others, my mom was a frugal person, which is something she stuck with her entire life. Now, at the end of her life, she had plenty of money. She actually had income from the U.S. government, from my dad's pension that paid most of her bills. She had a lot of money in the bank, but she was very frugal. I can remember even at the end of her life trying to get her to buy a simple kitchen appliance. Wouldn't do it. Didn't think she had the money. So definitely frugality was one of those things. That comes from going through those difficult times and remembering all the people that didn't have jobs and didn't have food in the 1930s. Number two, my mom was really hard on herself and others about telling the truth. She would often tell me, if you can't tell yourself the truth, you're really in trouble. And this came to money too, by the way. She always wanted to be honest with herself and with me, and have me be honest with myself about my money situation, her money situation, to a way that was uncomfortable for some. But telling yourself the truth about money is so very important. Number three, my mom was an incredibly bright person who went back to school, got her master's in middle age after raising 4 children, and I think finished maybe number 1 or 2 in her class at the University of Washington. And one of the things she always believed was, sure, people are going to give you numbers, add all that stuff up, but always do a rough cut first. Kind of generalize it in your head so you have a number. And when somebody comes along and says, here's the number, and they don't match, you should be suspicious, which brings me to the next point. And that is, she was a firm believer in trusting but verifying. Huh? Well, you could tell her a lot of things. My mom would look into them to find out whether or not they're true. Now, as a child, that didn't always turn out so well. As an adult, that generally it did. But even when I managed her money, she wanted to look into things to make sure that she was getting the truth around those aspects of life. Spend less than you bring in, count and then count, trust and verify, be honest with yourself, all of those things which are incredibly important to you as an investor, as a manager of your own money, and as someone who is trying to build a great future for you and your family. Mom, I'm trying to live up to all those things as well. I miss you, and I'm doing the best I can to live up to the ideals that you set as well. I'm Tom Cock.
Talking real money. We'll be realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?